Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, everybody. It's so great to have all of you here. And guess who is joining us? Yes, live and direct from New York City herself. Our friend Renee Katz is here for more loviety and music and good times and so much more. Hey, Renee, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. If you're just joining for the first time, Renee, of course, is a celebrated cabaret star, singer, and author as well. And congratulations on all of the above.
Thank you.
Keep it busy during the pandemic there in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, huh, my friend?
It really helps to keep you sane, to be doing things. Yeah. Very important.
Have you been baking a lot of sourdough bread like everybody else during this pandemic?
No, I don't know how to do that.
You know,
I'm sorry.
You know how to maybe
pumpkin pie and things.
Ooh,
definitely not sourdough.
What was there anything that you were baking during the course of the pandemic?
Well, I can do like oatmeal things, oatmeal bread, and because I'm trying to eat healthy, pumpkin pie and cookies sometimes, but not too much.
You know, we've got a couple of different things we're going to be doing with this episode. Again, for everybody watching us, I'm your host, Jim Masters, and our very special guest is Renee Katz, cabaret star, singer, and author. As I mentioned, good friend of our show and of me, and we are friends of each other, and it's fabulous having her here. If this is your first time watching, we welcome you. We've got music, great conversation. We have some poignant moments. Of course, our famous Jim Masters Show Live interactivity. Our viewers are commenting from all around the world. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. That's the channel you're watching right now. And be sure to click the notification bell. That's right. We're getting up to some monumental numbers with our subscribers, which is fantastic. We welcome everybody who's been with us from the beginning and anybody who maybe is joining us for the first time. So subscribe and click the notification bell. And don't forget to give this episode and all the episodes you enjoy a nice, hearty like, and leave a comment on our YouTube channel as well. Comments coming in from everybody. So, you know, it's been an interesting time since you and I chatted last. We've been through so much, Renee. What are some teachable moments and things you've learned maybe about life, about music, about yourself during this time of reflection and pandemic?
Well, I learned a lot about finding what really matters to you. So number one is my family and my parents. My parents are both wheelchair bound now.
I know, yeah.
And I am there helping a lot with my husband and my son.
Which is beautiful.
And I learned that I really do need to sing and I do need to create. And I joined poetry groups, which challenge me. Because they're workshops, we come up with ideas, and no matter how silly they sound, we share them with another, and then they blossom forth into whatever they're going to become. And then working on, you know, my music. So that's this album that I'm coming out with, which we're going to talk about, is something that I've wanted to do a very long time. And so this kind of focused me into doing it. And even though I was nervous going into the studio, we masked up and, you know, we had separate areas and we persevered and we did it, you know, and I finally finished it. So that was a big goal. And
what was that like? Yeah, because you really, you know, that takes a lot of stamina to do that, especially during this crazy time of the pandemic.
And
it's something you needed to do.
It's every little detail of it. You know, and we just used piano and cello, which I love cello, and I was so grateful that I could have cello join us.
Yes.
And so every little detail is worked out, and I'm detail oriented, or try to be. I attempt to be. So.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes things just derail or get in the way.
Well, sometimes you have to go with the flow, like I'm trying to do now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say it's very focusing, very humbling, because you don't know what's coming next. And things seem to be getting better and improved, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And then there's the world, what's going on in the world. And, every day
Interesting.
seems to be a different challenge. And then you have to find the bright spot and the spot of love. And that kind of carries you through when you have goals and you have people that you care about.
Yes.
So that's what the pandemic is, even now. So every day, you look on the news and you're like, oh my God.
Every day
I'm doing pretty well compared to
right, in
a
comparison.
woman who has to take her children, out of a place, and her husband went to war and she has to carry everything that she owns with her children.
Yeah, into
It's amazing.
a foreign country, and yes, exactly. It's
and here we are sharing music and sharing people, the lovities, and all of that really counts to keeping you smiling and keeping you centered, and we're all so lucky.
yes, we really, really are. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to share it, in the way that we do on this series and the way you do through your music as well. What are some of the things that continue to inspire you to come up with the phenomenal music that you do, my friend?
Well, I listen to artists that I love, and I look at what people are doing in the cabaret community and different things that people are going through. And it seems like all my co-cabaret people were just persevering through and finding meaning and finding what's important and putting it in the music. And that is what's one of the things that keeping me going, besides, my amazing family and, loviety friends and all kinds of great things.
Which is fantastic. Yeah. And before you know it, spring will be here.
That's right.
But it is still winter
that's
time.
when my show coming up, that's what it's,
looking
it's
to
on
spring.
the cusp of spring.
The cusp of spring. But you have that album that came out, Winter Awakenings, and congratulations on that. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, the core of the album is a song cycle called December Songs, written by Maury Yeston. And I've always connected emotionally with that song cycle. So it's based on a Schubert cycle, and it's made contemporary. And it's about a girl walking through Central Park, reflecting on a lost love or something that you lost, and then moving forward. So I find it very positive, especially at the end when she's able to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. A couple of people are commenting about your microphone. Do you have the reverb on? Is that what creates that
Is it
echo?
too loud?
No, it sounds good. That's what that is, folks. You can create this sort of reverb, which is an echo sound. And it's usually when you're singing, like it wouldn't make sense if I had it on our microphone, because it would sound like I'm in some sort of a auditorium. But for you, it sounds good because you're going to be singing in it, and it's set up for that system. But that's what they call it's reverberation, or it's sort of it's reverberating that sound and elongating it.
It's going through
the mixer, right?
Somewhere.
That's your Jim Master Show musical tip for the day from Jim and Renee.
Yes,
that is reverb with the microphone. That's what
Well, with this system, I've been able to work on a system called Jam Kazam, which allows you to work with pianists everywhere.
Isn't that amazing?
Just like your show does. Everywhere I can work with somebody across wherever, and we're still in tandem. The music is in tandem. There's no lag. In the first year of the pandemic, I didn't have any of that set up, and I was trying to work on my show with the lag, with FaceTime or Zoom.
Oh.
But now the technology has improved so much, and it's amazing. the things you can do from your own home, as you know. It's
Yes,
amazing.
it really is. Yes, and you know, it's been an adaptation for a lot of people, but yeah, definitely, you know, you have an opportunity to maximize that. And are you still, are you, even though that album is out, congratulations, are you working on more as we speak?
I'm always working on things because I have to. It's like who I am.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us about published author too now.
Oh, well, I wrote a poetry book a while ago called Never Been Gone. And I actually also did a cabaret show on that book. And I did an album on that book. So that is my book. I have so much poetry now, I could probably try and do a second volume of things.
How long have you
So,
been writing poetry? Because I know last time you were on, we talked about it a little bit, but we've got some of it to share. We're going to be sharing music as well as the conversation, your lovely comments from the lovely squad watching around the world. But the poetry part, tell us about that. Is that something you always did, even as a little girl? Were you always writing and journaling? And
I did write. I did write. But I have to say it's, going through the things I went through that we discussed on our last show, I kind of started writing after the incident that I had. And also, I used to read Rumi poetry, and that inspired me to write as well. It also helped me through the mourning process, like accepting things that happen in your life. Poetry is kind of interesting.
it really is, because it allows you to express, you know, your feelings in such a unique way that, like with music, that can really resonate with people, and they can hear it and sort of make it their own in certain ways, right?
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
actually really wonderful to listen to music, without watching images, because you can
Yeah.
create your own images.
Now, I have a
You know,
question here, my friend.
yeah.
During the pandemic, uh, my hair and your hair grew. Whose hair grew the longest? I think yours did.
Well, mine was even longer than this.
There was a period where mine was, I think, back in what was it, in the fall, I think, maybe, and I had to get it coiffed for some television
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean,
But
I wore it like wavy. My hair's pretty wavy. I have to, if I, blow dry it, I can make it straight. But it's pretty wild when yeah. So,
yeah.
but yes.
You know, we've talked about hair on this show. The lovities
Hair
bring
and
it up.
food.
They're always like, so here's our hair
I hope I don't get any
conversation,
hair in
folks.
my food.
Oh, see, now I understand that with this lion mane that took me a year and almost 2 years to grow. It's the first time I've ever had it this long. But I've worn it on
I like
PBS and
it.
I've worn it elsewhere, and everybody's like, keep it, keep it. Jane in Sweden, our lovely Jane, she's like, Jim, you best not cut that off, or I'm going to fly from Sweden to the America and reprimand you. So Jane, don't worry, not yet, not yet.
But
But you know.
it was even longer, believe it or not.
Yes, actually, a little bit down to here, and then I needed to just rein it in a little bit. But it's kind of crazy. It's difficult a little bit because like you say, it wants to go in your face when you're having your bowl of Cheerios, and at night you think you're being attacked by something, and it's like,
Well, I
what's
put
your
mine up.
technique? You pull it back, you put a hat on.
No,
Sometimes
I
I've
just
gone to
take a
bed with a hat
scrunchie and
on.
put it on top of my head.
That's
They look like pebbles.
yeah, pebbles. Hi, everybody, the Jim Master Show with Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Next time I come on, I'll wear it like pebbles.
Like Pebbles. We'll do a Halloween episode, right? And you could be Pebbles. And I'll be Bam Bam. That's funny. Yeah, it's the hair has been a subject of conversation with guests and with viewers, and they usually begin it on their own. But this is funny. Kathleen Walker says, you both have great hair. And there was a funny one. What did somebody say? Elizabeth Ann says, but you'll get to the root of the issue. Yes, this is a hairy topic. That is very, very funny. And what is that other one that's funny? We are splitting hairs. We're on a roll here, huh? It's the warm-up act. Toby says poetry is very healing, and that's so very, very true. Absolutely. Absolutely right. So the family is doing well since we chatted last. Everybody's okay.
They're still together in their own home. They
Yeah.
survived Hurricane Ida, believe it or not.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It went in their basement. It's a long story. But the important thing is that they're still together. I don't have to go into the drama.
They're together, and that's what counts, right? They're together, and that's what it's all about. Absolutely. Did you want to play a song for us, my friend?
Already? Sure. Okay.
What would you like to start with?
I'll do my grandmother's love letters.
Okay.
How's that?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Renee Katz on the Jim Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. She's coming to us live from the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, New York City. Strike up the band, and Doc Severinsen, that's your cue.
I'm getting my band right now.
I know you are. It's like one-woman band these days, right?
It is. Wish me luck.
You got to do it all.
Here we go.
Here we go.
I went up to my attic to put away your letters in a gray metal box with 2 broken locks next to an old bird cage. When I went to put your letters inside, I found another packet covered with dust and smelling of must that came from another age. My grandmother's love letters held in her trembling hand when she was 17. They were a world to her, they were her youth, they made her whisper low. 77 years ago. My grandmother's love letters, so firmly in her grasp, she breathed each line and gasped. That means she breathed the air of long ago. I loved her so. Some things you never know. What makes the tide come in and the little flower grow? How Father Time decides when he'll come for one of us. Some things you never know. What makes the eagle fly and the southern wind blow? These things, they come, they go like portents, omens, dreams. You never know. My grandmother's love letters, so firmly in her grasp, she'd meet each line and gasp. They were a world to her, they were her youth, she tied them with a bow 77 years ago. My grandmother's love letters, so firmly in her grasp, she'd read each line and gasp. And I'm the air she breathed so long ago. I miss her so. Some things you never know what makes the tide come in and the little flower grow. How Father Time decides when he'll come for one of us. Some things you never know. What makes the eagle fly and the southern wind blow? These things, they come, they go like portents, omens, dreams you never know.
Very beautiful, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. What comes to mind when you're singing that for us here on the Jim Masters Show Live? I think loviety, I think warmth, I think caring and kindness, all the things we like to celebrate here on the show. What are some of the things for you, Renee, that come to mind as you're singing it? And when you do sing it, are you transported? Are you swept away?
Well, I mean, I am transported to my grandmother, obviously, but other things I'm transported to is the optimism of how if someone could live their lives the way they wanted to, they would be able to, outwardly share in that joy. This person had to hide a lot of the things that they were feeling, and she hid it in a box. What happens if she didn't have to hide it in the box? And what happens if she could live her life fully? So a lot of things.
Music, can really transcend the ages and the times, and it really, it's interesting when, you pen a song and then you perform it, how people sort of connect to it and they sort of make it their own. You might have had an initial thought process as far as why the song exists, but then people connect various little bits of it to their own lives. And you're very conscious of that as you're preparing the music, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you describe, for somebody watching, we know that our regular faithful are here and they're commenting away, but for somebody that's watching the Jim Masters Show live from around the world, because we're constantly getting new viewers and new subscribers and all of that, somebody that's watching this and they're seeing you for the first time and maybe checking our show out for the first time, how do you describe what it is you do in terms of the genre and what it is in terms of the Renee Katz sound and vibe?
I would say it's heart-centric. So I'm not going to sing anything that doesn't affect me in some way.
No gangster rap on the show.
Unless someone hires me to do something else. If I'm choosing my own music, then I'm going to choose something that's extremely heart-centric.
And that's important, isn't it? I believe in that. That's one of the reasons why I created this series. The same reason, it has to come from the heart. It has to inspire people. It has to empower people. And I think that's incredibly important. You and I are kindred spirits on many levels in that way. And I know we talked about that. I think even on the previous episode last year when you were with us, we talked about the importance of celebrating that. I don't think you or I could bottle this up and just keep it under wraps. You need to express that heart-centric part of you. As I do through my art and my work in television, radio, you need to do it as well. It's key to you being able to express yourself, isn't it, Renee?
It is. It is. And
it feeds you.
That's what I find. I find that people, if there's a will, there's a way. So
Yes.
let's say you couldn't do your show, you'd find something else to do. Because people are so talented, sometimes they don't even know what they can do. And
Well,
sometimes people
yeah.
are pushed in different directions, and
Yes.
what do you know? Look what you can create.
Exactly. Like,
And that's what's
yeah.
really cool about life, because you don't know what's going to happen. And then when
Right.
something happens, you get pushed. But you're always in that, if you stay into what your heart-centric heart is telling you,
What your heart's telling you.
what your
Yes.
heart's telling you, you can create a
And
pie,
in
you can create
California,
poetry, you can create
all,
pottery, whatever it
yes.
is.
Whatever it is, absolutely.
Or
Anne in Southern California. Thank you, Anne. Or Anne, are you in Southern California today or are you still in New Mexico? I know you've been doing some traveling back and forth. She did our super chat, super sticker, which helps support our show. You can do that in chat. There's a little thing where you can do that. And many of our lovelies have been doing that to help support our series. And we thank you very much, Anne, and everybody that's commenting here as well. I know what you mean. Like with this show for me, because of the work I do professionally, which consumes all of my time, this was sort of like an add-on to that. And a lot of people have asked, am I do this just during the pandemic? And here we are almost 650 episodes later. And I'm like,
I think it's here
I'm
to
enjoying it.
stay. I think it's here to
Yeah.
stay. We can't
Yeah.
all get out all the time. We have lots of responsibilities, and we all do
Yes.
our best.
That's
So
right.
if you can get out sometimes, if you can go watch a great show like this on the air, if you can combine them, how wonderful is that?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, when you're thinking about it, it's really beautiful when you get a chance to touch people in the way that you do. What is some of the music that you listen to, Renee? What's the genre? What's the go-to music for you? What would be in your iPod or your boombox or on your stereo system
I'm
right
very
now?
strange. I have lots of different.
Eclectic, right?
I do. So, I grew up a classical musician, so I like listening to Debussy. I like listening to James Galloway. I like listening to, like, all kinds of Scheherazade. I like listening to. Then I like listening to Meatloaf. I like listening to Mary Chapin Carpenter. I like listening to Carly Simon. And my cabaret artists, I love listening to Nancy Lamott and Laurie Beachman and Mabel Mercer and Ella Fitzgerald, and for phrasing, and Frank Sinatra for phrasing, and that's weird, right? I like all different things.
No, not weird at all. And no, it makes you versatile and appreciate all elements and styles of music. Because truly, every type and style of music has something to offer and something to give. It might not be one person's cup of tea, but it is for somebody else because it speaks to them on
Yeah,
a
I mean,
certain
it doesn't
level,
really matter what it is, as long as it's speaking to you.
as long as it's speaking to
So
you as well.
Meatloaf was extremely passionate,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so were the other
You just
people I
lost him
mentioned.
recently too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm mentioning him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's quite an eclectic mix of people, which is cool because then there's a lot of different elements that you can even pull from yourself as you're coming up with the phenomenal music that you come up with, my friend, which is really terrific. What are some of the things that still inspire you? I think we talked about this. You're an observer like me. I'm always an observer of life, and I'm always being moved and touched by the things I see and hear, even the things that aren't so great, like you say, what's on the news and everything. It makes you want to roll up your sleeves and participate and help in any
Yeah,
way you can, no matter
I'm
what.
inspired by the people that do things behind the scenes that don't get
Yes,
noticed, like my husband. But, like, my son inspires me,
which is beautiful, right?
Yeah, my father's journey inspires me. Different lovities that are on here.
All
They
the
come
different,
from far and wide.
this wonderful family that
And
we've
they open their
created.
hearts to each other. And no matter what, they're
That's the
there.
residual of this. When I turned on the lights almost 2 years ago, it was just me talking to the camera for, I'd say, at least a week. I was just, hey, I'm Jim Masters, and I work in TV and radio and stage and film. And hey, let's talk. How's your day going? And how you doing? And just doing that. And I was grabbing all kinds of different things, childhood toys, and we were just creating episodes on the fly and just having a good time and expressing and connecting with people during a time when there was a lot of sadness, the pandemic, nobody knew what was happening. And it was an expression to use all of my years in the professional world and bring them here to this scenario. And then it just sort of grew from there, and people started following and liking and getting the vibe of, like you say, heart-centric and inspiring. And then the loviety sort of came along, and then this community, which you're deeply a part of, the loviety squad and this whole thing, has touched me in a way that is kind of interesting. It just sort of developed. I knew people would enjoy what we're doing and get the vibe, but some of the letters that I get privately, sometimes I share them on Facebook, but some of the words that people pour out to me, and I know you feel the same way with your work. I've always had it in my career, but it's interesting with this show, the intimacy in which it comes through direct Facebook or Instagram or emails or just whatever it is. It's so beautiful. And I'm sure when you hear that people are touched by the music or the poetry,
like it. There's nothing like
it's
it.
quite a thing, right? How would you describe that feeling for you, Renee?
It's a humbling thing, when people come up to you. Yeah, definitely. Very humbling. It's makes everything worth it.
It's sort of, I didn't do it. I didn't create this looking for that. It was sort of the residual, just like you don't create the music looking for that. It just sort of comes on its own. And, it's just a beautiful thing. Thanks, Ann. Jim got us through the pandemic. You were on the other side now, gang. We're getting closer. So keep tuning in.
Definitely.
And like Toby says, we've all become true friends here. Absolutely. Yeah. First guest was my buddy Reno Venturi, the acting coach and producer and director. I know him personally. And he was the very first guest. And then I believe my friend June Rachelson Aspa, lyricist, and June too, through our friends David Friedman and Sean. She came on the show as well. And then Danny Goggin, who is Mr. Nonsense. He was, I think, the third guest. People that I knew either wanted to come on or was saying, hey, do you want to pop on? And then it just came from there. And all my PBS friends started coming on. But this is really beautiful. I'm so glad that you're in good spirits. You're in good health. The family is as well, which is so beautiful. You have another song you'd like to share with us, my friend?
Sure.
What would you like to sprinkle in now?
How about some snow? Do you have any snow out there?
There is a little bit that's still on the ground, a little bit from a little brief thing we had on Friday. You have any there where you are?
Really a little bit, but my next song, it's really not. If you don't take it literal, let's see.
What's the name of it?
I Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. Everybody knows that song. Oh, it started already.
He started hitting those keys. He's ready.
The snow is snowing. The wind is blowing. But I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. Just watch those icicles form. What do I care if icicles form? I got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat, I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, but I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. So I want to introduce you to the man who's playing the piano, who's not here right now, but his name is John Cook, and he's this amazing musical director, and he's the man that played on my album, and he's quite wonderful. Off with my overcoat, off with my glove. I need no overcoat, I'm burning with love, 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 love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me. I've got my love to keep me. I got your love to keep me warm.
Very nice. To keep me warm.
It's fun.
One of these days, maybe we'll do a duet. We'll surprise our Loviety viewers, and we'll come on. You know, I've sung "Happy Birthday" to people, and we've done Christmas carols and all. So we'll have to plan that, Renee Katz, huh? We'll plan that. Yeah, or anytime, 4th of July, or just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Nice comments coming in from all the Lovities watching. Thanks, gang, for all of your great comments. We'd love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got Kathleen and Linda and Elizabeth and Sherry and Merlin, and Jennifer Roberts is here. Jennifer, thank you very much for being with us here on the show today. And when you check us out, we love it. Our friend Michael Colby is here as well. Good to see you, Michael, and smoking great. And Toby wants to know if you do any scatting.
John says I can do scatting, so I'm going to have to do more scatting. It's you know, I can do jazz. I'm just getting more into it. You know, it's a different language.
Yes,
but it's fun.
It really yes, exactly.
It's fun, and it's also can be very emotional and great. It's all great.
Absolutely right. Mona is here from Louisiana. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Merlin says you and I should sing in a pop-up show, one of our Jameis Loviety pop-ups, which we are very overdue for. Wonderful from Elizabeth. Thank you very much. Beautiful from Linda in Florida, and of course Kathleen in New York City, and everybody else as well. We have a couple of videos too. Did you want to sing another, or do you want me to play Please Let's Not Even Say Hello and then save a song for after?
You want to do some poetry?
You want to weave in some poetry?
Or do you want to, because you were talking about how people develop other talents and meet on this show.
Yeah, sure. Lots of other talents. Absolutely right. Yes. We can, why don't we squeeze one in, and then we can show one of the videos, sort of like have a little bit of a variety of things for the viewers.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll switch off. We've got more music coming up and some wonderful videos. As a matter of fact, there's one here from Michael Colby with Renee in it as well. It's very moving. It's very impactful. It'll get you thinking and feeling. So don't go away. If this is your first time here, I'm your host, Jim Masters. I really appreciate you guys being here. Share the levity. Tell everybody you know about our series. We've done somewhere around 600 and almost 640, 50 episodes live 7 days a week. And we have a phenomenal time with all of you. We do it like a television show. And I just think it's really, really beautiful having all you here. So tell us about you want to share a poem, right? Tell us about that. I love it.
So would you like me to share one of the poems I did with the levity first, or you want to save that, or what would you like to do?
Why don't we build up to that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just share one of my poems that I wrote for my album.
Fabulous.
This is something I will also do in my upcoming show.
Now with this one, is this, as we do that, is this the one with the sunset image?
No, this is called A Path Calls.
Okay. So you'll just read it on screen.
It's really meant to read before you sit down and listen to my whole album.
Oh, I like that. Yes, I like that. That's beautiful.
So it's called A Path Calls. Sometimes a path calls for you to walk alone, to look within your own eyes, to sing a solitary song. As bare trees of winter arise renewed, as perennials await their chance to dance, be still. Allow your secret self to guide you. With honesty and abandon, your heart will soon reveal all it needs to become whole. As the crocus lifts its head through frozen earth, embrace the unknown. Shed your layers, allow the soul to radiate through. Live within the yearning. Emerge refreshed and strong. Seek your own approval. Sing a solitary song. Sometimes a path calls for you to walk alone, and still it is beautiful.
That is beautiful. That is very, very beautiful. When you were writing that, where were you in life? What was happening? What were you thinking about? What inspired you? It's crazy because in my professional work, I always tell people, I want to go a little deeper. I love to know what makes people do what they do, say what they say, express what they express, because I learned, the audience learns, even sometimes the guest learns as they hear their words coming out of their own mouth. It sort of reinforces why they do what they do. For that beautiful poem that you just shared for all of us, and we thank you, my friend Renee. What inspired you? Tell us about, the time and place for you when you wrote that.
Well, I've been through a divorce. I didn't write this then, though. But I started singing December songs then. So, December songs, I inspired this poem for sure. Yeah. And it's not the commercial choice. December songs is not the commercial choice. It's the braver choice because I felt it was true to who I am and true to my heart. And that's what inspired me to do the poem.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
So
there's a lot of times commercial, a lot of times, you're in a position as an artist, and I hear it a lot from so many, where there's those two worlds colliding. There's the commercial, and they want you to create that commercial hit or that commercially viable product, pays the bills and it reaches the masses. And then there is the other part, which is what speaks to you.
You hope that what you're doing is touching another person in the way that they need.
Right. Exactly. Right.
And you have to follow that. And that's what I did.
And you did it beautifully.
Thank
We have also, please, let's not even say hello. And I'd love to show that, and then we can come back, maybe have you sing another song, and then we'll do another of one of the poems. And then we also have Michael Colby and your phenomenal collaboration This Planet Spins, which is epic. You're going to really love that, folks. Tell us, before we show this, my friend, please, let's not even say hello. Tell us about this. Give us a little bit of a preface, backstory to it.
Have you ever bumped into an old girlfriend, or does that ever happen to anybody? Like, you could bump into somebody and if you weren't attached to anybody else, it would be so easy to fall back in those patterns. It would be so easy to go with that person. But then the same issues would come up again, because you're still you and I'm still me. And like it or not, you could pretend that they're not there and have like lots of fun, but they would still be there in the end, and it would still be so painful in the end. And I hope I'm making sense. But
you are, yeah, because initially there's that sort of, oh wow, that familiarity, and I know her. She knows me.
It's happened to me.
It happened.
And
to all of us.
Please don't even say hello, because as wonderful as it was, it's just painful, and because it can't really last.
Right.
But you have those memories, which is good too. That's what it's about. I'll be quiet now.
No, yeah. Well, what happens if we let you talk longer? You start going into specifics, dates, times, names, and numbers. We'll meet at a diner there in the Midlands, and you can tell me all the rest. Over those conditions with mustard and the dumplings. Yes, we'll do that little pre-show chat we had. Here you go, folks. I'm sure every single one of you will relate to this in one way, shape, or form. Please, let's not even say hello.
Unintended, no time to let our feelings show. Two people once attached, still not matched, still not mended. Please let's not even say hello. Let's not stop out for the world. You never know, we might continue talking. But surely you're still you, I'm still me, that's for certain. I'm still no good at letting go. So please let's not even say hello. Please let's not even say
That is fantastic. That is really, really beautiful. And the comments coming in from our Loviety squad, and not just the Loviety squad, but those who are watching from around the world who are joining us for the very first time. We welcome you. If you're watching this live, or perhaps you're watching this later on in the archives, thanks for being with us, folks. We love when you're here. We love all of this, and I love all the interactivity. It's one thing I said, if I'm going to do a show like this, I love interactivity, and I love just connecting with everybody like you do. And I think it's so spirited. Sherry Larson is sending in some beautiful hearts from Kansas, USA, and we love it. So nice. You guys are really fantastic with these comments. And Kathleen, the same thing as well. Thanks, Kathleen. And Joan Sando, needing the kindness, softness, and beauty, especially today. I agree, Joan. Yeah, absolutely magnificent from Elizabeth. Nikki claps. Michael,
Thank you.
so heartbreaking, eloquent. Of course, our loviety. Maureen says, just wow. And Merlin in Ontario. Loviety Merlin in Ontario, Canada, pure voice for sure. And Juanita in South Africa, claps, 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 and hearts. All these great comments coming in here. Thanks, gang. We appreciate your sharing the loviety with us like you are as well. Did you want to sprinkle in the other poem?
Would you like to do Juanita's or just another, or you want to save Juanita's for later? Or
If you have it, sure, yeah. We could build up to that one, yeah.
okay,
That would be great
okay.
because we have some cool things to go with that one. So that'll be awesome.
Okay.
Andrea Colby, so very beautiful. Renee, as always.
This is a poem called The Tides of Change. As in the dancing hem of a long flowing gown, the wind whips up blue and white lace upon the shore, as waves of magic unfurl recesses of the heart. Every crescendo and anticipated diminuendo of crashing surf, ebb and flow, in moon-stirred harmony connecting us all. Salty sea spray reawakens the spirit, exfoliates the mind, as steady, rhythmic percussion soothes intrepid souls within tides of change.
And when you prepared that, give us a little of the backstory. What were you thinking? What was your inspiration for that, Renee?
Well, I love to be by the ocean.
We've talked about that. I'm an ocean guy myself. Yeah, we're both raised near the ocean, the East Coast here, and the New York area.
So I kind of combined it with music, the waves.
What does the ocean do for you? What is it? You've probably heard me multiple times in this show talk about how it's one of my Zen places. You know,
It's
the
very
tide,
calming.
and swimming, surfing, just being in it and near it as much as I can. How about for you?
So it's very calming and quiet. And so I don't, quiet is very valuable because you can hear what's going on inside you. And if you don't have that, you have to find it.
Yes.
So that's what the ocean does for me.
You know what I
then
love about it too? I
is-
love that it's more powerful than me. I sort of, I give great respect to it, and that it's something larger than myself, but I can still have pleasure with it if I respect it. So we sort of respect one another. It's greater than myself. Yeah.
like with this, all that's going on now, on that 65-degree day, I went to Huntington and I found a beach with my husband.
Long Island. Yes.
And it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was even beautiful without there was all these like trees without leaves, and
It's still
it kind
nice.
of made it even more interesting. So, yeah, I took all these pictures, which I love to do too. I'm not like Juanita, but I love to take pictures and
Me too.
combine them with poetry, which is something that you'll talk about later that me and Juanita did. But yeah, I love the ocean, yeah.
That's
And
fantastic.
then, in Soothe Intrepid Souls, it soothes all of us because we're all intrepid souls right now. We can put on smiling faces and do our best, but inside, a lot of us are intrepid souls.
Yes, we're all on a journey, and sometimes we often forget that we are on it together. Sometimes we think that the way to go is on separate trains, but those trains eventually have to the earth is not flat, it's round. And eventually that train will meet the other train. If the world was
And we'll all
flat,
go
then
to
you
the
could go.
beach.
Yeah. If it's flat, then it goes and goes. You could be away from everybody, but then you fall off. It's
It's a
all
nice combination, to be
Yeah.
able to, go somewhere like that and to think
Yeah.
and, it's just important.
Absolutely. That's right. You have another song for us, my friend?
Yeah, it's it's for what's going on now.
Yes, exactly. Yes, Elizabeth says, when the swells of the ocean lift me up, I feel like a child being lifted up in affection. That's a beautiful way to put that. I know what you mean. I feel
That's
like that. It's
beautiful,
sort of,
Elizabeth.
it's all, I always feel like I'm enveloped. I love the salts and the tide and I just, you literally, I've been in the ocean in Florida with family and, they've dragged me, well, not dragged me. They're like, okay, we're getting ready to go. And I'm like, oh no, why are we going? They said, oh, well, because it's starting to rain. Let's go, Jim. And I said, yeah, but I'm already wet. I'm in the ocean. But the Florida lightning was coming, and that's a whole other boom. That's a whole other story. But yeah, I said, well, it's raining. It doesn't matter. I'm wet. But I heard the band start there. You have a
Well,
wonderful
I was
orchestra.
excited.
Yeah, you've got the Katz Orchestra there. They're on fire tonight. That's the other thing too, Renee, which we've talked about a lot, right? And I'm a big believer of it. You've got to laugh. You have to have levity to get through. Just you don't even have to have hard times to get through.
No, it's
It doesn't always have to be get through. Just to enjoy, just have a laugh. Let
make
yourself
light.
laugh.
Exactly.
Allow yourself to breathe and laugh.
Yeah.
I love to laugh and I love to make people laugh. If you haven't noticed that 2 years ago already, I'm always looking for ways to make people laugh. And I think it's so important, right? Do you try to laugh as much as you can?
Absolutely. I think it's really important. I think we've been having fun here too and talking about some really serious things. That's exactly what I love, because, you need that lightness. You definitely do.
Yes, exactly. That's what it's all about. So you can tell the conductor that if he would like to reposition, how'd you get him to stop? Did you just go?
I stepped on him.
You stepped on him. That poor band leader.
Oh, now I have to focus.
See, we got you laughing. That's good. That's good. That's it. Releases those feel good endorphins, those hormones, those
I
endorphins.
should have saved the light one for now. I have the heavy one.
We're working in reverse. Austin
All
Fields
right,
is
well,
another wonderful
this is,
show. Please
this
subscribe
is
to see
by
excellent,
Alan-
interesting
this is-
conversations. Thank you, Austin. We appreciate
Yeah.
that comment. Very,
All
very
right.
nice.
So this is dedicated to everything that we're surrounded by now.
All right. Renee Katz and Jim Masters on the Jim Masters Show live. Hope you're enjoying, folks.
Someday, when we are wiser, when the world's older, when we have learned, I pray someday we may yet live to live and let live. Someday life will be fairer, need will be rarer, greed will not pay. Godspeed, a time of peace and grace on its way. Let it come someday. Someday our fights hearts will be one then. Oh, stand in the sun then, that bright afternoon. Till then, on days when the sun won't shine, we'll hang on, wish upon the moon. Change will come one day, someday, soon.
Bravo. Very touching, very beautiful, my friend. Very, very beautiful. Tell us a little bit about that one some more. Very, very touching song.
I've always loved this song. That could be for many, 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 many things. You know, I think it means something for each one of us.
Yes.
For me, it helps to sing something like this over the past 3 years. It's very helpful.
I would
and
agree.
it's positive.
Yes, right. And that's the key, to have the positive bent, because there's definitely a lot of, there's enough negativity out there, right? If you want negativity, there's a lot of places you can go to be served up
Don't come
all
here.
the negativity that you
Yeah.
want. There's more of that than there is positive. But yeah, no, it is really important.
It's easy to get negative,
Sure. Oh yeah.
but you have to channel it to something else.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, got to call your friends or something.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly right. I agree 100%. Absolutely. We have another beautiful thing. Do you want to do the poem with
Yeah.
that came from our wonderful
Yeah.
Loviety in South Africa and our friend
Yes,
of our
this
show,
is-
Juanita?
I have her book.
We have
So
something. This is from
This
one
is
of our
a- this is a-
viewers, folks,
yeah, so
and Lovities.
there's a wonderful girl that's one of the Lovities on this show. Her name is Juanita. I don't know how to pronounce her name right. Kotzer?
That's why I always say Juanita from South Africa. Now you know why.
Juanita from South Africa.
Just say Moy Loop and she'll accept that. Walk well.
Okay.
Walk well.
Anyway, I love her pictures. They're gorgeous. And I just approached her and I said, "Can I write some poems to your pictures?" And she said yes.
Sure.
So this is something that's in progress, and we did 2 poems so far. So Jim has one of her sunset photos. And
Yes. Yeah.
So you want to...
So when you do that, how do you blend the two? What is the way? See, I do it a lot I've done it with still because I'm a photographer too, so I appreciate what Juanita's doing, and I've done it with video, being a television guy. So I've done a lot with music and words, or even just music, instrumental music and video. But when you're doing it, tell us a little bit about the process for viewers that are watching that are like, "Gee, this is fascinating." How, a little teachable moment for the viewers.
Well, when I saw her pictures, it inspired me, but then I asked her questions. Where was she? And what was, going on in her life when she took that photo? And I asked her about South Africa, because I've never been there, and what's special about that, and it's gorgeous there. It's very inspiring. So, yeah, she writes me details, and then I just write looking at the photo.
So you're inspired. You're seeing the photo first and writing based on what you're getting from the photo
Yeah, and I
versus
asked
the
her
poem
where
written
she was when
first.
she took it. Exactly. I didn't read
Right,
the poem first.
right.
I looked at the picture, and I thought it was extraordinary. So I asked her where she was. What was she doing? You know, and yeah, and all about South Africa. And then I try and
Yeah.
write.
Cool stuff, cool stuff.
Yeah.
And again, as a photographer myself and videographer, the photos that we're going to show here are definitely breathtaking. Here's one here. Did you want to read the poem to this beautiful sunset?
Sure.
South African
Isn't
sunset?
that beautiful?
Absolutely. That nice, deep, multiple shades of the purples and the yellows
Yeah,
and the
it's just
white
so
and the
beautiful.
lavender and the pinks with the, which I look at right away too. I know a lot of people would go right to the color, and I go right to the color too, but then I go to the framing, and I also go to the silhouette. The fact that these trees that have such authority are framing it, and at the same time, if you notice, they're all bending in the way that they do towards the light, towards the color. If you actually see the
that's
left
beautiful.
trees and the right trees and the little ones in the front, they're all leaning, at least the way the photography looks, they're all leaning towards, which is what draws your eye into that center part
That's
that
true.
almost looks like the opening of heaven or something. So I see
Jim, I
this
think you
silhouette.
should write a poem.
You know, I've actually this. I have, and I just haven't shared that. I don't know what I should do next. The singing, the poems. I usually have the guests doing it all. I think I should just do a whole thing where I bring that guitar in, I start singing, I do the poems, and I'll make a grilled
No, that
cheese
was
sandwich.
a nice way of that was a nice way of describing it. But
Yeah, that's what I see there. Yeah.
this is what I saw. South African sky magic, striations of wonder reassure the heart as day unfolds into night. Ribbons of illumination light up the soul, erase our fears and lead us home. Swirls of amber, orange, and pink fade into blue, then purple, never-ending variations that connect us all. Earth evolving beauty within its transitions, we are filled with serenity and gratitude. South African sky magic, striations of wonder, we stand in silence. It has so much to say.
You're right. It does. In its peaceful way, too. In its peaceful way. I would love for the audience, I mean, they're commenting. First of all, let us know where you're watching from. Those of you who might be new, let us know where you're watching from. And what do you see when you look at the photo? You just heard this beautiful poem that Renee shared with us, which was fantastic. There's a couple here that, like Elizabeth, first black lace of silhouetted tree twigs and leaves. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. I see
Beautiful,
that.
Elizabeth.
And Juanita says, nice, Jim. You want to feature in my next book? It sounds like a great idea. Absolutely. I got a ton that I could share. Breathtaking from Michael. And it's a perfect poem. Yes, I agree. And there was another one, I think, that I saw.
There's a
Look at that.
picture
Look
of
at that one.
A picture of a railroad tracks.
Positive phototropism and negative geotropism. Love it. Love that, Elizabeth. You're on fire tonight, Elizabeth. You are on fire. I love it. I'm a wordsmith, so I love all of that. I love all of that. And we have another. Yes. Tell us about this.
Oh, I wish Juanita was here to explain it all. But this is an abandoned
She
railroad.
could if she wants to
It's
type it
abandoned a railroad
in
station,
comments. She
and
could.
She told me all about it, and the details are in the poem. But apparently, there are a lot of these abandoned rail stations in South Africa, and I'm gonna read the poem. It's called Railroad Reflections. Outside the village under African skies stands an abandoned rail station. Dry patches of unruly grass peer through rusted, dismantled rails. Even in broad daylight, looters dig with picks at the valuable metal unfettered by disheartened passerby. A thriving rail system of yesteryear, valued for its mining and agricultural transport. Opulent passenger trains astound where one could lose oneself in the promise of new adventure, now silenced. The stripped station house proudly awaits to greet the phantom train as it screeches to a halt. Ghosts of lovers intertwined in parting. Teary-eyed parents set their child's wings in flight. The paths of life endlessly intersect in journeys of wonder, reflection, and hope. Eventually, we all reach our destination, then start again.
Letting it soak in a little bit as we're showing some of these comments as well. Yeah. Nikki and Jennifer and Juanita saying our railway system is in a sad state there in South Africa.
I like to think
I like
of
this.
what
Merlin
it was it
says,
used to be.
yeah,
And
see,
I
like
like
Merlin,
to think about.
like
Yeah.
Merlin is saying here, imaging or imagining the trains and the people that
That's
used
what I
it.
tried to do
Right.
within the poem.
Hearts from Anne as well. And Elizabeth says, sky growing pale at the thought of looted metal. Sherry Larson, love how you added the history of what went on there in the past. Beautiful as well. Absolutely. Conjoined train tracks, which is interesting because that's what I saw too. I also saw the lush green of the grass and the thickness of the grass, how the grass is sort of taking over. You know,
Yeah, I called it
nature would
unruly.
take over everything. If we allow it, nature would, fill in all the blanks. But how you have the one track and then you have them sort of splitting off. And then at some point they probably rejoin, kind of like what we were saying earlier. We all go on different, we have different journeys in life sometimes, but it all comes back to this full circle thing. And I think it's just really, really fantastic. Really, really nice shot there. And we thank Ronita for sending those to us here at the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, she has her book, on Amazon if anyone is interested in it.
Yes, that's right.
So it looks like this. It's very pretty.
Picture a sunset. Absolutely. Yes. Picture a sunset. It's a great title for it too, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Now we have, and thank you, Juanita, and thank you, Renee, for the beautiful, beautiful poems. And that's what I wanted to do when I had my, as a producer, as much as I am a host, producing these shows, I like to weave different things in and out, as opposed to us just doing all the poems, doing all the music, doing all the chat in block form. There's something it's just me. I love weaving little bits of each conversation, some of the song.
I mean, that's how we live.
That's the way, yeah. And then as people are on our train right now called the Jim Master Show Live, they've hopped aboard for this beautiful time together. And I thank every single person watching live and those watching later for hopping on this train nightly, as long as you have, almost 2 years coming in April, for as often as you can. I think that giving people just a variety of different things and weaving it together is fluid and unpredictable and not so heavily formatted and scripted. Believe me, I work in a lot of things that are very scripted and perfectionized. I just created that word, perfectionized. And we leave room for air and breath and feeling with our show here. Speaking of which, We have here something that is very moving. If you've thought you were moved already, lovities, this is really going to be, as we've been talking about the spinning planet a lot. This planet spins. This is a Michael Colby extravaganza. Michael Colby was on our show. We'll have to have him back too. And he's a big fan of our show and supporter. He's done videos praising the show. We just love Michael. The Algonquin Kid, as he's known. And you collaborated with him on this, and tell us about it before we show it, because it is going to pull at the heartstrings as it should for many.
Well, Michael was very concerned about the rampant increase of anti-Semitism that was happening. And considering my dad was a Holocaust survivor, I think, we were both really concerned about what was happening in the world.
Yeah.
And he wrote these lyrics in honor of the awareness of anti-Semitism and the rising acts that were happening. And he created those lyrics that you're going to hear. And he went to the cantor of his synagogue, Nev Shalom, it's called, in Metuchen, New Jersey. And he's also a composer, and his name is Sheldon Levin. And he wrote the music for this beautiful piece that you're about to listen to, and asked me to sing it. And I think he understood that would be important for everybody, no matter what religion you're from. But it is universal. It's just the acts that were happening, were happening to a lot of synagogues around us and in the world. And he wrote about it.
Have you experienced it yourself as well over the years?
I'm kind of lucky. I've lived in New York City my whole life, and I haven't had much of that, but my father has. So
Your father, yeah.
I am a second generation Holocaust. My father is 96 years old, and his whole family was eliminated except for him and his brother. His brother is close to 100, and my father is 96.
God bless them, huh?
God shines on. He worked his whole life, so he's a good man. So anyway, I feel a responsibility for the people in my family that passed. I feel like they're, my father's loves his garden. Came from a farm,
Oh, we're going to have to talk, 'cause I'm a green thumb. I'm an avid gardener. Your dad and I are going to have to compare notes. When I come for the knishes and dumplings, your dad and I are going to go out in the garden.
Squash. Yes,
And does he got a compost pile?
He does.
See, of course. I know what that is.
He throws everything in there.
You throw all of it in there, the banana peels, the tomatoes. Yeah, and it reconstitutes, and you got some of the best soil you'll ever have there in the Midlands.
There's like cracked eggshells and all kinds of weird
Coffee
things.
grounds. Yes. It does its trick. Yes, I know.
So
all the summers we came up to Connecticut, Massachusetts, I watched my relatives.
So I have a poem that I wrote a while ago, but I sometimes feel that, the ancestors are in those plants, and they're looking.
They are.
And they're like fueling my dad and fueling me, and just something like that.
Do you know what the number one activity was at the height of the pandemic, aside from the baking of the sourdough bread and everybody eating all their childhood foods and gaining a pound or two here and there and the rest? Gardening was the thing that people did the most, getting in touch with nature. And when it felt like there was no control and there was nothing, the world was just coming apart and the rug being swept underneath and life as you knew it and all these things, going out and putting your hands in the soil and planting something.
And watching Yeah.
That's the thing, right? I look at gardening. Your dad probably knows this. I look at gardening like a two-way street. If I plant the seed, or I plant that flower or that shrub or the tree or whatever it is, it's going, not only am I going to nurture it, fertilize it, prune it, care for it, even have to move it if it's not getting enough sun or it gets too much sun, really take care of it, almost like you would a child. And by doing that, it's going to pay dividends of shade or fruits and vegetables or, beautiful flowers. So it's kind of like a relationship with the plants. You look at, again, your dad probably speaks this language. He probably has a relationship with it, but with trees and shrubs, in a way where you're nurturing it and you're feeding it, and it depends on you. And then you depend on it to provide whatever beauty or sustenance or whatever it delivers, which I think is a cool thing. And if we think of that, through life, I think people might act a little bit differently, and think a little bit differently and treat each other a little bit differently, that we all depend on one another. We all need each other. And there's different things that Jim Masters brings to the table, and Renee Katz brings to the table, and this one and that one brings to the table. And we might have some slight alterations to it all, but there's simple things in life that matter the most are what really rise to the surface when you give it time and when you plug in instead of unplugging. We've certainly plugged into the technology, but we've sort of unplugged some of the humanity. And I think we need to sort of even that out a little bit. Keep the technology and all, because that's part of our society. We've got to and I think this pandemic and this time of reflection has sort of brought that to the forefront, to re-plug into one another and into the human side of things, the humanity that we're all craving. Wouldn't you agree, my friend?
I think that's really beautiful. I agree. Very beautifully said.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it leads us to this wonderful and beautiful, touching video here with Michael Colby and our friend, loviety, Renee Katz. Here it is. This Planet Spins.
We wear a symbol on a chain, a chai, which means to cherish life, to help to heal, to be humane. Through any setback, grief or strife, we seek out truth and live by laws, then aid our neighbors where we can. We make mistakes, we have our flaws, but peace remains our foremost plan. We yearn to learn and teach as artists and achievers. No go beyond our reach, for faith rewards believers. As every day this planet spins, and through the dark there grows malevolence, wars being waged where nobody wins, crushing goodwill and benevolence. Yes, every day this planet spins, spinning new paths and different views for all. Some make long strides that others call sins, as headlines spin troubling news for all. We once were slaves in time long past, but God has led us to be free. We work to make that freedom last and live the way all life should be. But meanwhile, those who wish us ill intently plot to bring our end. One tiny country, hoping still to greet our neighbors, friend to friend. No holocaust or hate should keep us from our true right to hand in hand create a better world and do right. As every day this planet spins, though hostile minds seem unappeasable, we shouldn't break or shake in our skins, but reach instead for what's feasible. For every day this planet spins, so many years we're not given peace. Sing out until a new day begins, when we can awake to live in peace, safe and sound as this planet spins around. For every day this planet spins, so many years we're not given peace. Sing out until a new day begins, when we can awake to live in peace, safe and sound as this planet spins around.
Absolutely beautiful. That's really very, very touching. And
Thank you for playing that.
oh yeah, when I was previewing it the other day, I said this has to be a part of the show. All these things that we're weaving in here, it's getting people to also talk about what's going on in Ukraine. Merlin says her family is of Ukraine heritage, and Michael also shared as well the same too. Family from Ukraine, then Russia, and they had to flee. He also said history repeats. Juanita says, thank you, Jim, for creating this show, which brings people together from around the world. Thank you very much, Juanita. And, you can apply the words and what we just witnessed to so many different scenarios in life. Maureen, Loviety, Maureen in Arizona, incredibly touching video to go with a beautiful song. And Juanita, of course, very touching and beautiful. Sherry Larson says, wow, and peace to the world. There's oppression, there's suffering, there's just so much that goes on in the world. And sometimes we get I'm always aware of it, but sometimes we get so wrapped up in our day-to-day that and if it isn't on our immediate doorstep that day, we don't think about it. I mean, I always do, but just generally, we just don't sometimes. And it isn't until things happen. I mean, right now, a lot of people, even what's going on with the Ukraine situation, they're saying, wow, with all this technology and all this stuff we have and all the materialism and all these things, look what can happen. And look how it can happen at any moment to anyone, anywhere. And people are starting to think about that. And it's causing that to rise to the surface in a way where people they're fearful, but they're also, look at the way the world is coming together and rolling up their sleeves in support of what's happening in support of the Ukrainian people.
It's a beautiful thing.
Food and whatever can be done. And it shouldn't take a tragic situation for that to happen, where the world all of a sudden comes together like, bees on a nest where they're going after the queen. It should always be that way. I've always wished that it was. Since a kid, I always, when I was a kid, I thought the way the world was that way. I work in television. We create those kinds of shows where everything seems so wonderful. And then you realize, well, maybe, everything doesn't end perfectly in 22 minutes, like on Donna Reed. So it's a matter of us all coming together through words, through visuals, through song, through conversations, through art, through humanity. And I think it's so incredible. Jane in Sweden says, she usually says that she's born negative. So songs like this suit her. So it sort of helps turn her around, give her a sense of hope and solace and purpose. And like Christine says, we're all intertwined as human beings, and the song reflects that as well. Absolutely, I agree 100%, right?
Right, absolutely.
And just want to show you a couple more quick things here, folks. There's some more of the photos that Juanita had sent in that sort of play off beautifully from what we just listened to and shared with all of you. Is there something else that you want to share with us too? Did you want to do another poem, or do you want to slip in another song? I mean, whatever's happening with you right now through this process, whatever's coming to mind is mighty fine with us here at LaGuardia Hall.
I have I don't know. When you had Meg Flather on your show,
yeah,
she talked about the ordinary extraordinary. And I really loved that phrase. So I wrote about it. So that's another example of how something on your show inspired other people. So
that's
this
beautiful.
is called the ordinary extraordinary. Real people inspire me. The ordinary extraordinary. High gloss devoid of inner reflection has always repelled me. In Japan, they revere their cracked vases and fill each crevice with gold. They honor the journey rather than disguise it, and know that beauty can be created within imperfection. Not only is there no attempt to hide the flaw, rather it is illuminated. Fully existing in the moment with acceptance of change and gratitude, we can still be of service and make a difference, even in an altered state. Excuse me. A state of grace, thriving within change. Our present society is uncomfortable with change. Many of us don't understand that struggle is where beauty often arises. Surface dimwits abound, whose primary goal is receiving without achieving, often displaying inconsistency of spirit and drive, glossing through life, devoid of intimacy, where relationships and the lost art of conversation, that's for you, are reduced to quick texts of existence, where just showing up and remaining there a while seem a bother. I value when people are there for you, take the time, and have the desire to stay interconnected. They are part of the gold that fills each crevice of your journey, and you are part of theirs. It is that union that brings forth perspective, perseverance of spirit, respect, and love. Real people inspire me. The ordinary, extraordinary.
That's so beautifully said, and it's so true, my friend. Really, I second that emotion deeply and profoundly, with a little wit and wisdom thrown in for good measure. I wanted to show some of our lovely audience. I knew this show was going to be a knockout, Renee, from the very beginning. I knew that with the various elements that you and I were talking about, Renee and I have been talking about this episode for about 2 weeks now, and putting together the elements and chatting and emailing and tweaking and reformatting. So we wanted to put together something, because you know me, I'm your host, and Renee's always here, and she's one of our Loviety viewers and part of the Loviety squad, which is a very special, heightened version of viewers. And she's always here. And Renee and I chat even off air as well as friends. And still waiting for the knish with mustard and dumplings, but that will happen now. So we're thinking about what to add and what elements. And I said, some music, and she wanted to add the poetry and all of it. And it just came together. When you believe in something, and when you breathe and you just let it happen, and then you bring in others, as we're doing here with all of these fabulous viewers, it just some magical things happen, like Michael Colby says, so poignant and profound and powerful and beautiful, from Sherry, and many thanks, Miki, and extremely moving from Elizabeth and Juanita. Wow, we should listen to the poem as morning inspiration every morning. And Michael says, I'll make my grandma's matzo balls. All right.
Ingredient.
Let's take the knishes and the dumplings, and we'll bring it on over to.
He has a secret ingredient in those, but I won't tell.
You've had them?
I have used the secret ingredient.
You've
and I still have
used
not
the
told
secret
anybody,
ingredient.
So you know.
Well, he's told you. You've sworn to secrecy. The Algonquin
like
kid said you will not.
His relatives are from the South, so it's a little strange matzo ball recipe.
They don't put Tabasco sauce in it, do they?
I'm not saying anything.
We'll have to try it, Mr. Colby. We'll have to try it. The dinner at the Colbys next, right? This is a wonderful show tonight. Great songs, poems, one needs lovely, stunning photos. Wowee. Thank you, Jane, watching in Sweden. Absolutely. I love that. Elizabeth says, where have all the Jewish delis gone? That's true. Yeah.
That's a good song.
Actually, yeah. Didn't Peter, Paul, and Mary, where have all the flowers gone? I had the honor and pleasure of interviewing Peter, Paul, and Mary separately on PBS.
I used to sing with the New
York
Choral Society, and we did the Christmas show with them every year. The Christmas concert with Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yes.
They were amazing to sing with on stage.
Beautiful people. Yeah, really, really beautiful people. Mona says, thank you, Jim, for another great show. As always, my pleasure. Michael says, our flaws and differences are what actually make us unique and outstanding. I agree. And that's something to let that sort of, curl around you. That is so true. And Marcia Watson, it's so nice to see you, Marcia, one of our longtime Lovities. She's been with our series for a long time. Wonderful show, Jim. Thanks to Michael and Renee as well. Elizabeth says, wow, I agree. I second that emotion as well. And some nice stuff that's coming in here from our Loviety audience. Michael says you use a secret ingredient in the matzo balls. So he's got a secret ingredient and you do another one's telling. Even if I do a 2-hour foodie show, you won't. Elizabeth, Mrs. she misses
I've never
cabbage.
had one
I
of
never had a
those.
cabbage
Me
knish.
neither.
Sounds like a little Irish and Jewish blended.
It does. There's some corned beef or something.
Yeah, with the corned beef. And that's coming up in about, what, a week and a half with St. Patrick's Day?
Okay. That's fun.
This has been awesome. Thank you both. Of course, Kathleen, Loviety Kathleen is watching us as well. This really is something special, and it's so cool to have you here, my friend. And of course, we cannot have this without one of our real Lovities here, Mr. George Burns in the house.
I get the George Burns.
You get the George Burns. That's right. With the cigar and the red hanky and all of this. And anybody watching,
I love
my Aunt Lillian in Connecticut, she in West Hartford, Connecticut, one of my mother's many sisters, as I say multiple times, my mother's the youngest of 16. It's a big family there. And she collected dolls, my aunt, and this got passed down to me, so it's precious. And it came out when he was 100 years old, and so we bring him out, and he said, "You knocked it out of the park, kiddo. Knocked it out of the park."
Thank you.
Why do you love doing what you do, my friend?
Why do I love doing what I do?
And what are some of the blessings and joys in your life that continue to help you forge forward through it all?
I love affecting. I love what the Loviety said. It's like interconnected. So whatever feelings they're getting out of what you're doing is the key. So if you're affecting other people, then it's very gratifying, and it makes you want to do it more and more. Not only affecting yourself and knowing that you're in the right, genuine place, but that you're having an effect on other people. I think Maya Angelou said something like that. It's not just your words, it's the feelings that affect other people, which is the most important thing, if you're affecting other people's the way they feel. So when I sing or when I write poetry, I feel like I'm doing some of that. That's my goal.
Yes.
And then I feel like I have meaning.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put that. I like that. I like the way you put that. It adds to you have meaning, but maybe it reconnects you to it, which is really beautiful. And then, as Elizabeth says, Brady the cat.
Where's our cat?
You've seen, that's right. Everybody who has a feline or...
Barry's going to get Brady.
Oh, perfect. That's fantastic.
We have a cat.
Elizabeth says George Burns is God. Yes. Yeah. Elizabeth says add garlic powder. Is that to the matzo balls?
I am sworn to secrecy.
And Michael Colby says Maya was a close friend of Grandma Mary.
That's amazing. She was so amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's hiding in the back room behind the curtain.
Here he is. He's a very nice cat.
He's a very nice cat.
He's been sleeping.
There he is.
There's Brady. He has a lot of bangle in him. He has a lot of cool stripes and stuff.
How old? Tell us a little bit about him. How old is he?
He's about 3 years. Oh my God. His original name was Plumber, and we saved him, and he was found in plumbing pipes, and they were going to put him back in the wild, but he just stayed there. He didn't go, so they thought he would be a wonderful house cat. So that's Brady. He's funny.
Does Brady realize he's being seen by an international audience right now? Anything he'd like to say?
He's that bright.
I was going to say, does he sing, write poetry, do backflips? What is Brady's claim to fame?
Well, I think he can do knock hockey. He's got really long legs, and he likes to, play with things, and he's a
And
good
he's
cat.
really good because sometimes cats don't let you hold them that long.
Well, that cat is attached to my husband. They're like peas in a pod. It's cute.
I know. I was going to say, I don't know who's getting more pleasure out of it, your husband or Brady right now. I think it's a combo. It's probably 50-50, wouldn't you say,
But not many
Renee?
cats would stay there like that, I think. He's being...
Not that long. No.
No.
Looking at the microphone, he's like, just let me near that mic. I want to sing. I've been listening to the singing. I need to sing. I have a voice too,
He chirps. It's unusual. He doesn't have loud meowing. He kind of chirps, and they
Chirps,
say that
huh?
about Bengal cats. And they like to take showers with you too. We haven't tried that yet.
A cat that likes water?
Yeah.
Wow, we had
Bengal
cats growing up
cats.
too, and dogs.
But usually they hate water, right?
Usually cats are not. Dogs will dive in a swimming pool or a lake or so, but cats usually, I mean, not always. Again, that's who knows, but
they
usually
say
anytime
Bengal
I've seen a
cats.
cat, they don't jump in, they run away.
I don't know.
Well,
We'll have
you
to
have
try it one day.
looking right at you, and look, he's like wagging the tail, touching you, like, let me near that mic. I want to sing. I've got something to say. I like the way he sort of slowly exited stage right. Just sort of like.
He knows his stage directions.
What does Brady add to your life?
I think especially during the pandemic, it was just wonderful to feel something soft and hear purring and having somebody appreciate you even more.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that sounded kind of silly, but
No.
Yeah.
That's true. It's honest, authentic. It's Hey, a lot of people during the pandemic, and again, hopefully it will carry beyond the pandemic. I kept telling people, go to the constants in life. Go to those things that are there. The animals had no idea there was a pandemic. The
Right.
ocean didn't know. The sun didn't know.
especially if you're alone. And I have a lot of friends who are alone, and their pets were really instrumental for them.
Got them through, right?
They
Got
really
them
did.
through.
They really
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fantastic, my friend. We did almost 2 hours.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Doesn't
Huh?
feel like 2 hours.
No. Yeah, that's what everybody says. It doesn't. But anything you'd like to say, maybe about our conversation, about our show, or anything that you're thinking about, my friend?
No, it was just a wonderful 2 hours. I appreciate it so much that we could talk about things that are beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. As I say to all the guests, and you hear me say it to them, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I absolutely have with you, my friend Renee.
Thank you very much.
From the Midlands.
From the Midlands.
Whenever you see those comments, Renee Katz from the Midlands, this is the Renee Katz from the Midlands.
Yes.
Of Queens. And really, really beautiful. Just show a couple more comments coming here. Therapeutic. And like Sherry says, not silly at all. Absolutely. I love that. You're wonderful, Renee, and high
you.
five. This was a beautiful show.
High five. Thank you.
Really nicely done.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing more of yourself with us here. This is Renee's second time on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, and definitely won't be her last. And we hope you enjoyed this episode as we blended in some levity, as always, some lightness, some light, some love, as well as wonderful, beautiful music and poignant moments, great conversation, and of course, all of you, our regular Levity Squad viewers, those watching for the first time. Spread the word, share the levity, tell everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live. It helps us grow. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and all those other fun things. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment for us on the YouTube channel. We would absolutely love that. I'd love to hear your feedback and what you think about what we're doing here, this community we've created. An exhilarating show. Deeply grateful for being part of it. We are, Renee and I, deeply grateful that you've been with us, Michael. Absolutely. And Jane in Sweden says, we lovities enjoyed the show too, Jim. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Really cool stuff. And Christine Clifton coming in here from North Carolina. And she says, this show is beautifully presented, powerful episode, such a deep and meaningful conversation with touching, inspirational music and poetry. Lovely voice, Renee. Thanks, Jim, Renee, Michael, Juanita. Absolutely. So it takes levity, folks, and that's what we've created here on our show. Thank you, Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Really nice. Beautiful, my friend. You can rest easy tonight. Deep breath, relax. You've earned whatever you're going to do. You're going to have a cookie now or a cup of tea or what happens next for Renee?
Dinner.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that. Neither one of us have eaten yet. So now, of course, I say this with the guests too. It's harder when you and I are East Coast. So it's approaching 9:00. We started at 7. For the guests that are on the West Coast, it's early for them.
That's right.
You know what inquiring minds want to know, of course, Renee Katz. They want to know what Renee Katz is going to have for dinner.
Well, believe it or not, we have wonton soup, but they're chicken wontons.
Ooh.
We're going to have that.
Oh, that sounds good.
When you come to the Midlands of Flushing, you can get things like that.
You can get, yeah, you can get all of that, exactly. From the Midlands of Flushing, Queens, New York, in the Shire of Middle Earth, Elizabeth says. So everybody is from somewhere, and everybody has a story. We have some. I was on a television shoot up in Boston. I was in Boston all day today. I have 7 TV shoots this week and 12 radio shows to host, scripts to write. And then I got a TV news interview shoot on Saturday. Had one this past Saturday.
That's great.
And then all these shows. So we were filming at a fabulous place in Boston, and they sent us home, the crew and myself, with homemade chicken noodle soup with the wide noodles.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, because it's 24 degrees right now here along the coast here on the southern New England coast.
That is perfect.
Kathleen's in Queens, and she says, Flushing, thumbs up.
She's in Flushing?
I
guess she's not in Flushing, but she likes Flushing.
more towards like Woodside.
Okay.
Over towards that area.
It's just such an unfortunate name, but it's really not
Flushing?
such a bad place.
Have you ever dug in to see where it came from? Is it named after somebody, or?
I don't know, but
we will on the next episode of the Jim Master Show Live. We will tell you why Flushing is named Flushing.
It's rather big. I know it's
Woodhaven. Kathleen's Woodhaven.
Oh, okay. Woodhaven, that's not far at all.
No, Woodhaven.
She's closer to the city.
So we will have to have some sort of gathering that involves food and hugging and laughs and all that fun stuff.
That sounds great.
Sounds good, right? Because we can do that now. We can start to do that now.
We can.
So we will do it, and I'll get on that Metro North, and we'll put it together. And
sounds like a plan.
My friend, thank you so very much. Yeah, we are devout foodists. Yes, we are on the Jim Master Show Live as well. I did a 2-hour foodie show. I couldn't believe it. The audience sent in their recipes. We exchanged. It was just we do everything on this show.
It's fun.
My friend, really beautiful having you here. And thanks for gracing us. Congratulations again. Now, if people want to get the CD and things of that nature, where can they go? Amazon, Spotify?
www.reneekatzmusic.com. There's a lot of ways to get it there.
And there's the spelling, folks. RENEEKATZ, and then music.com.
So reneekatzmusic.com. And I'm going to be doing a show at Pangea on March 19th, Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It's a CD celebration show. It's only one night.
And that's in New York City.
Next night, I'm streaming it. I'm going to have a stream.
Nice.
So that's what I'm practicing now for that show.
Fantastic. Good things are resurrecting, right? Good things
Yes.
are resurrecting.
Yeah, it's my first time live in 2 years.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
How does it feel? Is it a period of adjustment? Do you have to sort of reacclimate a little bit to?
Well, I won't know till I get on the stage, but I'm sure it'll be an overwhelming moment when I get on there. And, there'll be some
Yeah.
people in the audience and some people, streaming later. And, yeah, I'm grateful to be able to get back to cabaret performing in New York City. It's exciting. And take it slow after that.
How many years have you been doing cabaret in New York now?
I did it when I was in my early 30s, and then I took a little break with my child, but I was always singing at home. So I never stopped singing, and I was working with Ted Firth, and then we decided to put my book, make it into a cabaret show, and I came back that way. So I've been back full force from 2018 till now. So
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And still loving it, huh? Still, it still
yeah.
speaks to your heart, and you're still,
Yes.
still
And
means the
and
world
it
to you.
evolves, there's all different things to sing about, and such great music. It's endless.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Fantastic. Really fantastic. I wish you well. Of
I
course,
wish you well too. Good luck with all your things this week, and keep going.
that's it. We just keep going, right? We just keep going and sharing and connecting, and so cool doing it on the Jim Masters Show live once again. You take care.
You too.
And
Have a great night.
thanks,
Everybody.
thank you to your production assistants helping you, your husband and Brady helping. Star appearance. That was a special guest star we threw in there. That's a bonus on the show tonight. Take care. Be well. We love you,
too.
Renee.
Yes.
And we'll chat again soon, okay?
Great. Thank you so very much. It was fun.
We will keep the porch light on for you, as we always say here.
Okay. That sounds awesome.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Renee Katz on the Jim Masters Show live. Thank you, Michael, as well. Good to see you, and bravissimi. Thank you very much. Cool stuff, gang, right? We had a wonderful time really putting this show together, something special. If you're new to the show, every night, something different. Different themes, different guests, entertainment, lifestyle, variety, talk show series. Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, Merv Griffin, Mike Douglas, Regis Philbin, sort of that old school variety, warmth, talk, conversation with a modern twist, modern vibe of today. That's what we do here at the Jim Masters Show Live, and we do it in style. We thank our friend, not only special guest twice here on the Jim Masters Show Live, but also a fan, supporter of our show, always spreading the word, and we love her for doing that, and a viewer, a loviety as well here on the show, which means a great deal to us, truly. I want to let you know, too, tomorrow we've got another amazing guest who's also making her return visit. She toured with Frankie Valli, vocalist and novelist. Lady Sandra is back with us on the Jim Masters Show Live. She's all excited. We are very excited, too. We've been chatting all day. Even while I was in Boston, Renee and I were chatting all day. And Lady Sandra and I were chatting all day while I was on the shoot in Boston, and it was fabulous. Lady Sandra is here tomorrow night. It's going to be amazing. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. She's going to sing live. If you remember, the last time she was on, about a year ago, thousands of people were watching and are still watching that episode. Really incredible response, and we're just so happy. And again, she spent many years touring with Frankie Valli, that legend, and she's just a beautiful breath of fresh air as well. I want to let you know, also coming up on Wednesday, we have renowned actor and filmmaker Dave Rosenberg and the cast of the indie film that everybody's talking about, The Reunion. It is a spiritual thriller. Yeah, the cast, members of the cast are going to be with us. This is exciting. And actor and filmmaker Dave Rosenberg, who stars in this film. He's going to be with us as well. That is on Wednesday of this week. So we have Lady Sandra tomorrow, which is going to be amazing. And she's coming in from Hollywood, California, in Beverly Hills. And then from New York, we have Dave Rosenberg and the cast of The Reunion, that new indie film that everybody's been talking about. Again, a spiritual thriller. And then coming up soon, we have from Saturday Night Live, my dear friend. She has been with Saturday Night Live and in the Saturday Night Live band for years. She's one of their main vocalists with the Saturday Night Live band, and of course, Saturday Night Live, SNL on NBC. The Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer-songwriter Christine Ullman is going to be joining us soon on the show. My buddy Dwight Turner is going to be returning to the Jim Masters Show live, and so much more. Check back some of the previous episodes. We've done about 600 episodes. It's been absolutely amazing. And we really love putting all these shows on together with all of you and for all of you. And you're just really amazing. Amazing. Thanks, Jim. Renee is the bestest. Wishing her loads of luck with the CD, upcoming performances. I agree as well, Juanita. And thanks for the photos as well. Very, very beautiful. And thanks for sending those in. We included those into the mix, and it was my pleasure to do that. Great show. Thank you, Jim, from Kathleen Walker there in the Midlands of Woodhaven, Queens, New York. She's in one Midlands and Renee's in the other Midlands. It's all about those Midlands. The Midlands thing happened when Eileen Barker, who still watches our show in Australia, she doesn't really comment. She watches it quietly. I hear from her privately. She said she was in the Midlands of Western Australia in the area of Perth. And then Renee caught that when I think Renee was on the show, and she said, well, I'm in the Midlands of Flushing, Queens. So that's where this whole Midlands thing came. And it's cool. We've run with it. So, hearts coming from Elizabeth Ann. Again, if you guys, anybody joining us for the first time, I hope you'll join us regularly and you will tell everybody about our show. We've hit some milestones recently in viewership and in subscribers. And with your help, we'll continue to grow. It takes a village. Thank you, Jim. It's always a fantastic show. Renee is wonderful. Absolutely. She will rest easy tonight. I know she will. And Mona, always a blast when you're here from New Orleans, Louisiana. I still have a little bit of that Cajun spice you sent me, a little bit left. Oh, I've put it in my eggs. We've put it on meats. We've put it in salads. Mona sent me a box filled with spices and coffees from Louisiana, from the South. Love it. Love it. Love it. Mona. And I have cousins that are originally from New Orleans as well. And, my cousin Bill is doing some of the ancestral research, and he thinks we might have a little Cajun in the family as well, which is kind of cool. Good night, Jim and Lovities. Jim, love your shirt. Can you see it? I don't know if you can really see it. There's, then maybe see a little bit more of the color there, huh? What host is going to lift himself up and out of the chair to show the viewers his shirt? Regis Philbin, he would have, because he was a lot of fun. Thank you very much, Mona. Really good seeing you here. You're here all the time, and I'm glad that you're doing well. And Merlin is getting in on the act. She says, this is the Midland on South Georgian Bay. She's in the Midland on South Georgian Bay. So I'm in the Midland in the greater New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area along the southern New England coast, the beautiful and historic southern New England coast between New York and Boston. Mona says, I have some more spices for you. Just need to get to the post office. Somebody give Mona a quick lift to the post office. Stat. Give her a ride, gang, to the post office. Send a car down. Get her to that post office. Thank you, Mona. I always love that profile photo that you have, on your YouTube there profile. It's a very nice photo of you. I've been meaning to say that. Christine Clifton as well, another smiley photo in her profile as well. Jim, tonight's episode was certainly good for the loviety soul. Thanks again for you and Renee and all involved. A wonderful show altogether. Good night, Jim and lovely friends. Till next time. And we'll be here tomorrow waiting for all of you. And Jane in Sweden, as always, Jim, you look great. Wow. Thank you very much. Maybe I should I leave it there maybe? Quit while we're ahead. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Nice to see you as well. And Kathleen Walker says, have a great night. Good night, all, and hugs. And Kathleen, I guess today was the last day to find out whether or not baseball was going to start on time, because there's the owner and player lockout. And I believe today was the deadline. So I think the baseball season is going to start late this year. And I know you work with the New York Mets. So unless something changes there, it's not midnight yet, but I think that might be what's happening. We're gonna have to get together before that. That's so great. Mona says, I have some other goodies for you too. Thanks, Jim. Sweet of you. Get that card down to her in Louisiana quick and get her to that post office. She's got stuff to send north to us Northerners. Thanks, Mona. Can't wait. And thinking about Mary Bishop, too, one of our lovelies. She's always with us. She had lost her husband not that long ago. So we continue to send our love and hugs to Mary Bishop, who's a big fan and supporter of our show. She's been with us for a long time. And, we've communicated, and she's been a big supporter of the show, and we love Mary Bishop. So good stuff. Merlin says, exit stage left for me. Are you sitting in that big cushy mauve colored chair in the living room? Sherry Larson says, now if there's anybody in any Midlands, it's Sherry Larson, because she's really in the Midlands. She's in Kansas. She's in the middle of the United States. She's in the breadbasket, where a lot of our sustenance comes from, right? So does that mean I'm in the Midlands of the country, since the center of the States is 20 miles away? You win. You are in the real Midlands, Sherry Larson. Yes. We wouldn't exist if you weren't there in the Midlands. Yes, Jim. So everybody envision now that mauve colored chair that we had a episode where all of our viewers, not all, but several of them, sent photos of the chairs that they sit in when they watch our series, because a lot of times our guests have to get up to run to put the charger in their phone, go grab the Oscar, get the cat, whatever it is, get a drink of water, or just disappear for a second. And we see that empty chair, and we have episodes filled with empty chairs from our guests. So then the viewers sent in their photos of their chairs. So there's this cushy chair that Merlin in Ontario, Canada sits in when she watches us on her big screen. It's 3:12. It's 3:12 a.m. in the middle of Marstad. They're in beautiful Sweden. Yes, Sweden. I love it. And Juanita says, I grew up in the Midlands of KwaZulu. Is it KwaZulu Natal? KwaZulu Natal. In the Midlands. That's in South Africa. Jane says because it's 3:12 a.m. in Sweden, Jane, go to bed. So Sherry in Kansas, where it's even earlier where Sherry is, she's telling Jane in Sweden where it's 3:12 a.m., Jane, go to bed. Jane won't until we wrap the show up. So maybe we should wrap the show up, because Jane's here all the time. And so I think maybe we should wrap it up so she can go to bed, right? And I know Juanita probably wants to dive in her bed in South Africa as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for this very special program. This is kind of like what we do all the time, just different elements and guests and conversations and so much more. And yes, Jim, from Juanita. And it's 4:14 a.m. there, but you've always been a lovety troopity, and you've always been here on all these different shows we've done. So we thank you for that, Juanita. All right, gang. We say Moy Loop. We say Avida Zane. We say Shalom. We say Slancha. We say take care, be well. We will be back tomorrow. And we always say, don't forget to smile, gang, right? And Renee talked about the ocean. As you guys know, I love the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it, walking it, floating in it. Yes, my hair is shorter there. That's before pandemic. Hey, it's shorter here too. There's your Mr. Loviety. Still by the ocean. All right, gang. Cake by the ocean for all, right? Remember who sang that song? Cake by the ocean? Mm-hmm. Joe Jonas from the Jonas Brothers. Thumbs up from Jane in Sweden. Bedtime for Jane, bedtime for Juanita, dinner time for Renee, dinner time for Jim. Help us grow. Share the loviety. Tell everybody about the Jim Masters Show live right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And if you haven't subscribed, we would love it if you do. It helps our show big time. Click the notification bell, that bell icon, so you never miss any episodes of our series. And again, give us a thumbs up, like, and leave a comment. That really helps us as well. 2 more, and then we are Seacrest out. Kisses coming in from Kathleen. Thank you very much. And hey, day off. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Day off. Yay. You're off tomorrow. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Jane. I got to learn the Swedish. Jane's going to teach me the Swedish so I can talk like my great-grandmother who came from Sweden. All right, gang, we love you all. Thanks for being with us. We have the best audience out there. And, you know, we just really love putting these shows together for all of you. We'll be back tomorrow. And again, for those of you, that's for the live audience. Those of you that are watching this later in the archives and the replay, stay right there. Many more episodes, 600 plus, you can peruse and enjoy right here on our YouTube channel. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be waiting for you. I'll stay in this chair. I'll eat and sleep in this chair. And I will wait for you on the next one. Good night, Jim. Thanks again. Good night, Lovities. Happy Mardi Gras. Oh, that's right. Mardi Gras tomorrow. Right. Ooh. Boy, we should have taken the show on the road to the French Quarter there in Louisiana and did JMS live on location. All right, gang. You got to laugh. You got to have fun. We love you and you and you. Take care. Be well. We'll see you on the next one, okay? Thanks for being with us. Once again, we thank Renee Katz for being with us, and we thank all of you. Love you all. Be good to one another. Love one another. Take care. Thanks for joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.